Hello everybody, Rose here, coming to you with some battles from the Great League Remix in Pokemon Go. Today's featured battles include Golbat on the lead with a Greninja closer and an Empoleon save swap. Now this team is incredibly strong, and I made it a couple seasons ago just for fun because I wanted to figure out a way to use Greninja, and it's actually taken off quite a bit since then. The strategy behind the team is if you lose the lead or have a neutral lead, you swap out to the Empoleon, draw out that hard counter, either a fighter or a grass, at which point Empoleon is sacrificed and Golbat can farm down and get some energy, Poison Fang, or Shadow Ball things to oblivion. And also, hopefully, you're able to get shields off with Empoleon, as it's got a lot of good pressure for damage and shields. So, by using that, you get a shield advantage and you come in with a Greninja and you sweep. And we're going to see plenty of that today. So, we'll jump right into these battles here. And this first battle is Golbat on the lead with a Slowbro. Terrible lead, got a bailout straight to Empoleon. I recognize that both of my backline actually beats this thing, and they don't swap out, which tells me either they don't have a solid answer to my Empoleon, or they just don't like swapping out. So I'm just going to play this out, go for the Drill Pecks. They opt to shield, so this sort of makes me think that they really are sort of weak in the back to Water or Empoleon in general. And they're loading up on energy. So I know that Slowbro has access to Psychic, Confusion, and Water Pulse, none of which I'm particularly afraid of. So even if I let the Empoleon go down here, it's done its job. It's gotten both shields, and now I can come in with my Greninja after it goes down and load up on energy. So incoming attack, we're just going to let the Empoleon go down here. And it's just an Ice Beam. It's fine. So we come in with Greninja, and my opponent immediately swaps out into Kanto Marowak. So we got shields, we got energy, we got Greninja. All what needs to happen here is Greninja needs to land a Surf and takes out. Boom! Takes it out almost. Oh, it's not quite a kaboom. And then we have a Mismagius, which, so they could have swapped in the Mismagius against the Empoleon if they wanted to, but this is just one of those early season battles where the opponent's running whatever they've got. So they just kind of lose this one to Greninja, which is fine. That's what Greninja's there for. They're going to bring back in the Slowbro. We're going to finish it off with a Night Slash. Takes it out. Gets the boost. Completely unnecessary. So there's that first battle there. Getting into the next one. Up against Zampos 13, another rank 1 player. So they're going to bring in Whiscash. I don't like Whiscash. Whiscash is annoying, and I actually can't really swap out here. So I tend to just build up to Shadow Ball, but they actually swap out into a Raichu. Now, Electrics are scary for this team, as you could probably tell by the comp. Everything loses to Electric, so you have to just whittle them down. Poison Fang, I'm going for the bait here to try and get a shield, which I do. And typically when I get an Electric, what I'll do is I'll also just swap into Empoleon and try and 2-shield down with Waterfalls. Just because if that thing gets a hold of my Greninja or it gets a hold of my Golbat, that's pretty much going to be a bad time. So Empoleon's able to take this right here by double shielding, and we're going to find out what comes in next. Opponent comes in with a Shadow Snorlax. Thankfully, we farmed all the way down, so even though we're down shields, there's a good chance that we're going to get him back. And there's one shield, and they're out of shields now. So this is basically free reign for my line to do what it needs to do here. We just don't want to take a superpower or really any charge move from on Greninja. So I'll come back in with the Golbat here because it can tank a Body Slam and it won't get much of a tickle from a superpower. So we just tank the Body Slam and we let the Whiscash come back in. And at this point, we've got so much energy that they're forced to throw. If you count, they're up at like 6 or 7. So they can just throw a Mud Bomb. It's not going to take us out. Going to go for the Shadow Ball. And then instead of letting them farm me down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to Greninja to try and start getting some energy and get to a Night Slash. Because the only thing that they can do that might even take me out is throw a Blizzard here. And it's resisted, so it's good. There's a good chance it might not even take me out. And all they can do is throw a Mud Bomb, which is not going to KO. and then the Snorlax is so low that it should just take 1 or 2 bubbles to take out. So this is pretty much a GG, and get a little bit of lag here. I feel like the opponent may have either quit the game or logged themselves out or something of the battle. This typically tends to happen when the opponent just closes the app and decides not to finish the battle, which, while annoying, I mean, that's just how the way the game is programmed. So, is what it is. We get another win here. Going to go into the next battle against Lukash Biku, a rank 3 player, so a bit higher up than the rank 1 players. And so we see a Cofagrigus on the lead. So this is the only hope that I have here is to either land a Shadow Ball or lock it to my Greninja. And we see Machamp come in. Now this is exactly what this team is designed to do. Draw out the fighter or hard counter so that Golbat can come in and get some energy. I opt not to shield just because this allows my Golbat more farm. And I know there's no chance I'm going to win switch anyway. So if I go ahead and shield, all they're going to do is just farm me down anyway, and I'm not going to be able to do more than just get a shield. So they survive with a sliver of HP. Sometimes IVs matter, ladies and gentlemen, and this is one of those times where my opponent's able to get to the rock slide just barely before I take him out. Now, Lapras comes in, and unfortunately, the only thing that I have now that can beat the opponent here is Greninja, and these things are very bulky, and they're up shields. So this is not looking good. All I can really do is keep trying to throw Poison Fangs at this Lapras and attempt to get shields and do some damage here. They are going to throw the Surf, and I am going to let it go because I need to save this shield for Greninja. I know that Cofagrigus can't do a whole lot to Greninja if it has a shield, but at the same time, it takes not that long for Cofagrigus to get to moves like Dark Pulse. So I do swap in the Greninja here immediately to try and get ahead on energy, hoping that my opponent maybe swaps out to preserve the Lapras, which they don't. And so I'm forced to tank a Surf here, which is less than ideal. I am ahead on energy, but now they bring the Cofagrigus in, and it's, I mean, they've got a little bit of energy at this point, and I have to basically get to 3 Night Slashes to take them out, whereas they just need to get to 2 Dark Pulses at this point. So this is pretty much GG's on my part. Unfortunately, I don't have a way out here. The only way that I could have possibly taken this was if I had gotten the boost on the other Night Slash. That would have been just enough to get the damage in to take it out, and I would have been able to come in and take out the Lapras. But RNG is not the way to win games. No, not to reliably win games. So we'll see here. I barely almost farm it down, which is the only way that I'm going to be able to do this here, is either get to the Night Slash or farm it down, and they happen to get to the move. So with Golbat having 1 HP, it's going to go down to 1 fast move, and that is GG's. Yep, it gets taken out by the Lapras, unfortunately. That's alright, we can't win them all, though. Going on to the next battle. Against a rank 1, Magic Flow 1. Golbat on the lead versus Lapras. Off the lead, we got to swap to Empoleon straight away. Now, even though Empoleon is the harder counter, I opt to go to it because it's got that safe swap ability. It's got the ability to pressure almost anything with water and flying coverage. So, could have come in with Greninja, but my opponent might have been able to threaten me with shields. So they let the Drill Peck through, and they actually don't even throw energy, which was kind of surprising to me. I'm wondering if maybe they didn't have Seed Bomb on their Trevenant, or they just weren't able to get to the move in time. But anyway, we're going to throw a Drill Peck at this Lapras here. Going to just do as much chip damage as we can, let the Lapras take us out. It's done its job at this point. And then afterwards, what I'm already expecting to do is probably come in with Greninja, take the resisted damage from their Ice Shards, and just start night slashing. Because I can't really bring my Golbat into this thing. Now, they didn't quite get up to another Skull Bash here, so they do go to a Surf, and I decide not to shield. I know Greninja is very squishy, but at this point, I do have a good idea of what it can and can't tank, and a Surf is definitely something that it can handle. So we're just going to keep going for Night Slashes here, hoping to take it out. We get a boost, which is nice. And at this point, because I get the boost, I'm actually intending to just shield it and farm it down, because there's not a whole lot of things that can handle a Greninja with almost 100 energy when it comes in. And they bring in a Teddy Ursa, which I was not expecting in the least. So we'll just rip off a bunch of Night Slashes here and pretty much take it out. And we get another boost just to rub some salt in the opponent's wound. I'm sorry, friend, that's RNG. I'm not quite in your favor today. So they're going to go ahead and shield up that, and then I'm going to hit them with another Night Slash. And then as soon as that Lapras comes in, it goes down to 1 quadruple boosted bubble. And that's a GG's. Well played to my opponent. So, off to the next battle. Almost got the transition right. Alright, Lakiro. Battling with an Empoleon lead. So I don't like this. I'm going straight to Empoleon to try and see what I can make happen. My opponent either wants to stay in on this one or they swap out because they want to have a counter. So they come in with a Hypno. So I imagine they've probably got the Thunder Punch. I'm already so far ahead on energy that I can actually comfortably win this matchup. At least that's what I'm thinking at the time. And especially because they opted not to shield, I'm given the option to farm down if I shield once, which is what I'm going to do here. I want to win switch to keep the Empoleon off my Golbat, and they throw an Ice Punch, which, I mean, I may as well have shielded a Thunder Punch, I guess, but that was interesting. They're going to come back in with their own Empoleon. I'm really far ahead on energy here, so I'll be able to rip off at least this one Hydro Cannon before they try to take me out with theirs, which is most likely what's going to happen. And they're going to throw the energy, so I'll be able to come in with my Greninja and start ripping off some Night Slashes and keep this thing away from my Golbat, which is entirely what I was doing here. And they bring in Alolan Marowak. Ladies and gentlemen, Alolan Marowak is not a thing to swap into a Greninja. I'm able to take advantage of this mistake my opponent made, farm up a bunch more energy than I originally intended to, and just start ripping off a bunch of Night Slashes here to try and, maybe fish for a boost. I'll go for Night Slash. It's still super effective. And I'm not worried about my opponent really doing much here. I resist everything but Bone Club, and Bone Club is so low damage that I don't even need to worry about it. So I opt not to shield here, and I let them hit me with a Bone Club, which is fine. Now they do get to another Bone Club, and that sucks, so I'm going to have to shield. Oh, no, I guess I don't decide not to shield in this one. I'm going to live on 1 or 1, well, it's Greninja. It's got like maybe 5. So I'm just going to throw the Night Slash here. I've got enough energy to get maybe, I think, 1 more off before I go down. Nope, going straight to Golbat, not messing around. Just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball since I've got a shield. And we're going to close this one out with Golbat. GG's. Really interesting opponents at this range of ELO. There's you surprised that everybody's thrown into the same pool, but once in a while you do get some teams that aren't just whatever random stuff that your opponent has. And you get some decent games out of that. I have fun, though. Alright, gonna hit this next battle here. Oh, little not so great on those transitions. Oh, that was the last one of that set, so we're going to catch the Azumarill here. It's going to take us a couple of tries. Yeah, going to take us a couple of tries. Not quite a legendary, thank God, but we are just trying a quick catch here. Must have forgotten to cut that out of the recording. So we're going to ascend to rank 3. And we've got one more set here, so we're going to go in to the rank 3 set. This is up against a Politoed, so again, like, both of my Mons resist the Weather Ball, but I am afraid of Blizzard and I'm afraid of Earthquake, so I don't want to swap out until I know which one my opponent has. So in this case, I'll stay in with Golbat, resisting the Mud Shots to start throwing Poison Fangs, because as a Shadow, my opponent can't handle too many. I go ahead and shield this to see what move they had, and they do have the Blizzard. So at this point, I am aware that my Empoleon can take care of this thing. And so I swap in my Greninja against the Frostlass as more or less a hard counter. I can tank an Avalanche or a Shadow Ball quite comfortably here and just start going for Night Slashes. My opponent here is going to take a Night Slash, and I'll still have one left over because I'll just keep farming up until I know before they're at the move. My opponent opts to shield. I don't think they know the counts for Greninja, so I'm going to throw another Night Slash and take him out. And I don't think they realize just how many bubbles it takes to get to the Night Slash. So we come in with Drapion. Now, Drapion is scary. It's very spammy, and it has very good coverage in Poison Dark, which actually is able to hit my entire team for neutral damage. And with as spammy as it is, and with how much farm this thing just got from my Greninja, I'm actually sweating a bit here. So I come in with the Empoleon, forcing them to throw crunches. And I know I can tank 2 crunches if they throw back to back, but they come back in with the Politoed. Now, even though Empoleon can handle it, I do decide to come back in with Golbat because it has a lot of energy, and I know that they're not going to get to another Blizzard before I can get to these Poison Fangs. So we're going to throw the Poison Fang here and look to take out this Politoed, and they let it go down. So now it's just Drapion against these two, and they decide to surrender. They had no way of coming out of that one. GG's. On to the next battle. Against Dahlia 393, we've got Golbat on the lead versus Wigglytuff. This is ideal. I do recognize, though, that my Empoleon can handle the Wigglytuff if they swap out, so I will keep that in mind as I look to Poison Fang down this Wigglytuff, and they're not swapping out, so I'm not entirely certain if they understand that Charm is not something you want against the Poison type. And there they go, they swap out now, and they bring a Golbat into the mirror. Now, I bring out Empoleon as more or less the hard counter to Golbat. I do not think anything of the fact that this Golbat is purified because I never see one with return, but this one throws return. So while I would have resisted that damage, I really didn't want a chance taking a Shadow Ball, so I went ahead and shielded anyway, knowing that I am able to just take this thing out. And my opponent comes in with Seismitoad, and so this is actually not horrible. They threw very quickly, so I know there's no way that this is going to be anything threatening, so it's just a muddy water. So I'm going to continue to waterfall up to a Hydro Cannon here. I'm just going to start throwing as much of my damage out as I can before the Seismitoad takes me out. And they continue to throw muddy water. And I'm not sure if they're just trying to load up on energy or if it's a one-move Seismitoad here. But again, I'm going to let them try to farm me down here, but they're gonna take a Hydro Cannon before they can get me out of here. So we go ahead and shoot out the Hydro Cannon. I'm quick swapping into Greninja because I know I've got this game in the bag, but I really, really want to show my opponent that I'm running Greninja. So I let it go down, knowing that I've got a shield, I've got Empoleon, and I've got basically everything I need to take this thing out without really much of an issue. So they'll throw the energy, I'll throw one wing attack, and that is going to be GG's. On to the next battle here. It's a little too quick for myself. Kiko Yamosho. Golbat on the lead versus Golbat. So in this particular lead, I just swap right out into Empoleon, try to start getting ahead on energy. And my opponent brings in a Whiscash. So at this point, I know that I can tank one Mud Bomb, but I'm also not really looking to commit shields here because I know that I'm going to be able to get to the Hydro Cannon here. And if they just farm straight down, I should be able to get to a second one. So they'll either have to throw their energy and be energy dry, or I'm getting to another Hydro Cannon and getting either their other shield or I'm taking them out. So I will throw this Hydro Cannon right before going down and look to see what my opponent wants to do. And they do shield again, so they really want switch in this case. So I'll come back in with the Golbat, knowing that they're probably about to throw a Blizzard, and I will shield just in case. But it looks like they want to bait with Mud Bombs, so unfortunately, don't quite get it. So I'm just going to keep going, and they opt to swap back out. My Golbat is almost at a Shadow Ball, and they have no shields. So they throw the Poison Fang because there's no way they farmed up to a Shadow Ball, and I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. I have no reason to bait. I have no reason to do anything other than lob the Shadow Ball at my opponent and come in with Greninja to farm down, looking to get ahead on energy here so that I can Night Slash, take out the Whiscash with either a Night Slash or a Surf here. And that's pretty much going to be GG's on this one. My opponent isn't going to be able to do much of anything here with just a Mud Bomb, and I have a shield. So I'll shield this because they did get to the Mud Bomb, and I'd rather not chance them getting to a Blizzard here against my Golbat. So I will Night Slash and take out the Whiscash. GG's. Oh no, they had a Magneton. I'm the one who did these battles, and I forgot they had the Magneton. Man. So my opponent comes in with Magneton, and here's the problem, guys. Magneton is spammy, and it farmed me all the way down. So it is GG's, but it's me. My opponent played me like a fiddle. I forgot there was a Magneton in the back, and I'm the one who's recording this. That's alright. We take the loss. My opponent played that well. I didn't think that they would have a counter to my Greninja in the back, and they certainly did. This next one's up against Greninja. And it's Golbat against Politoed again, so I'm going to play this more or less the same way. Just going to build up on energy, threaten with a Shadow Ball, or go straight for Poison Fang just to see what move they have. And they just throw straight away, so I already know that they just have Earthquake. And so in this case, I am actually looking to stay in this matchup for a little while, because I can't swap in my... Well, I guess I can safely swap in my Empoleon, but I think I was looking to catch a Blizzard here potentially. Just in case they did have it. And they, again, this is the second opponent to swap in Alolan Marowak against something that they shouldn't be swapping in Alolan Marowak to. So I'm going to shield this thinking it might be a Shadow Bone, and I'm actually looking to commit both shields, farm it all the way down, because, well, now I don't have to commit both shields, but I want the energy on my Empoleon because I'm almost at 2 Hydro Cannons. And they're going to come in here with the Politoed, and actually these Drill Pecks, they aren't going to do a ton of damage, but they're going to do enough to threaten shields, and or if I get both of them off, I may very well take out the Politoed. So I'm going to fire off this next Drill Peck here and see where we go, see if the opponent wants to take a shield or not, and they do shield, so I will go down to Mud Shots. And in this case, I'm going to look to come in with Greninja because they resist... We resist the weather balls, and I'm not sure if my opponent is going to bother going up to Earthquake. It looks like they're not. I did commit a shield just in case they had the Earthquake there, since they were at 8. But since they're just going to go Weather Ball, Weather Ball, Weather Ball, I'm going to just load up a little bit of energy here, and I'm going to go for a Night Slash, hope to take this thing out. And I know that I'm going to get to the next Night Slash before they can get to a big move, so at this point, we are going to come in with Golbat. Catch the charge move with a ton of energy sword. Look to see what's in the back here. And it's going to be a Ninetales. This is actually pretty dangerous. So even though Golbat's got a ton of energy, we're going to go ahead and lob a bunch of Poison Fangs at it. And my opponent is about to take an unshielded, debuffed Shadow Ball to the face. Will this take it out? Let's find out. Oh, so close. So we're going to go ahead and Wing Attack down. And then Golbat's going to go down to a couple of Mud Shots, and Greninja's going to come in to finish off the Politoed. I know this is a Weather Ball, so I'm in no danger of losing this game here. And the bubble that snuck through will take out the Politoed, and that is GG's. This time I remembered there was a third mon in the back. Cutting into the next one here, against Katie South David. Golbat on the lead versus Venomoth. This is actually kind of scary. The confusion on this thing is going to hurt. So I'm going to do one Wing Attack for some damage and bail out to Empoleon. Now, I know that this Venomoth typically runs with Poison Fang and Bug Buzz, which recently got a buff. So they're going to throw the Poison Fang. That was a little quick for a Bug Buzz. And they're going to come in with a Stunfisk, and that's terrible. I hate Stunfisk more than almost any other Pokemon in GBL. But as with most electrics, I will look to 2 shield and just go after this thing. I'm hoping that this is their hardest counter to my water types, and so I'm going to go ahead and shield what they're going to throw at me and just look to waterfall this thing, maybe throw a Hydro Cannon to get it out of the way. Now, I think that was a fake CMP tie, so I'm going to shield this just to guarantee, because I think they're out of energy at this point, and I'm going to look to shield and guarantee that I can take this thing out. Now, it was a fake CMP tie, so we do get the Hydro Cannon off. They don't shield. They think that their Stunfisk has done its job, and they bring in a Kanto Muck, running probably Dark Pulse and Thunder Punch. Now, I do have to be very careful about the Thunder Punch, because that is going to do super effective against the rest of my team. So they look to swap back into Venomoth, and what I'll do here is I'll come back in with Golbat, even though I know that I'm taking super effective damage from those confusions. I'm going to be able to Wing Attack down, even though they're going to hit me with a Poison Fang and lower my defense. I'm going to be able to Wing Attack it down and get it comfortably in a position where I can just lob a Shadow Ball at this Muck and look to close this game out here with Golbat. So not a whole lot of fighters coming in on the safe swap, but we are seeing a rise in electric types, which is kind of scary for this team. After I did these first few ranks, I actually did just kind of start having fun playing other things, which I would hope people would do at this point. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the final battle of this little shoutcast and team coverage here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This team is so much fun. I can't get over, it's just one of my favorite GBL lines. Whenever I see Great League Remix come out, I immediately go to this team to have some fun with Greninja. It core breaks the meta so well, and it can handle so many things. So I'd like to thank everybody for stopping in and checking out this video. If you like it and you want to see more, please like, throw me a comment, maybe subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in something like coaching, I also have a Patreon that you can find in the description. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.